So let's get started. So especially this meeting is for the people who have recently joined the company and just wanted to give them a quick understanding on what we are trying to achieve in terms of helping our clients. So that's what I thought I'll do in the next 15 minutes. I'll share my screen and please let me know once you're able to see my screen. Can you allow me to share my screen, by the way? Okay, I'm allowed, yeah. Thank you. So typically we all are from accounting community, including myself and everyone around. And then our traditional learning has been accounting, tax, our traditional learning have been auditing and these areas. Our focus, has been very different. And then now we got into the world where we called it ourselves as KPO, or an outsourcing company. Well, that can be an industry name or a trade name, but our work professionally, what we are required to do, is this something different? Let's try and understand that. So every associate working says that my client is not complaining. There are no escalations typically coming in. I'm completing all my tasks on my end. Well, this could be possibly great customer service. When we started, we focused on that. However, these does not mean essentially you will be retaining customers. आपने अपना काम कर दिया है, कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए वो आपको पता नहीं है. आपने अपना टास्क क्लियरली कंप्लीट कर दिया है, एक इनबॉक्स में से चीजें दूसरे इनबॉक्स में चली गई है. Well, that does not serve the objective that the customer is looking forward to. We have got n number of complaints that I would not like to further expand because I think what they are doing is best to their potential. मतलब जो वो लोग कर रहे हैं इतना कर ले बहुत है. So they have kind of pulled down their expectations. We did a survey and a lot of customers said that we want our staff members to speak with our clients. So essentially, if they are not complaining, and these came out of the survey, that the customer expectations are increasing, and we need to kind of manage those expectations in the right way with our talent and upskilling. So if customer, is not complaining anything, if you're not getting escalation, first of all, that should be the base criteria in first 2, 3, 6, 4 months, that this is where you focus on. However, customer service is not all. Great customer experience is a good customer service. However, we have gone one step ahead. Customer service is, according to me, a very old concept. Our focus has to be on customer success. So for customer success, we need to be focusing on customer objectives, customer outcomes. So customer service equates to just managing expectations where they are. However, when we are looking at a holistic perspective from customer standpoint, it's not just experience. It's all about achieving the business objective of our client, of our firm. And the good part about it is we work with typically an IT company would be working with 10 clients from 10 different industries. Typically a BPO would be working for a client from 4 or 5 different industries. In our case, we work with one industry. Definitely, we may have a different business model. I have done a small video, and in that video, I've tried to highlight some of the business models, which probably would be circulated to you very soon on your WhatsApp, of accounting firms. However, we are working in one industry. So understand, as we grow, we have to understand the business model of our client is very easy for us. So as we understand the business model, understanding the objectives and everything becomes far more easier than what probably than other industry, because we were working in one niche, which is accounting firms. So the focus has to be on customer success. Each and every individual here needs to strive not for pulling tasks and putting that task from one folder to another folder. That's not the process we are. कल मैं किसी का इंटरव्यू कर रहा था, तो किसी और इंडस्ट्री से वो है, तो सीनियर पोजीशन के लिए हायर कर रहा है, तो मैंने बोला कि वो डोमेन नॉलेज है ना, एक्वायर करने में तकलीफ हो, हम अकाउंटिंग, टैक्स, ऑडिटिंग, पेरोल ये सब कर रहे हैं. तो उसने बोला कि प्रोसेस, मैंने काफी सारी इंडस्ट्रीज में काम किया है, सो प्रोसेस समझने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्रोसेस एंड डोमेन. प्रोसेस का मतलब है एक छोटा डोमेन है और उसमें इस तरीके से चीजें की जाती है, तो आपने समझ लिया कि भाई स्टेप 1 के बाद स्टेप 2, स्टेप 2 के बाद स्टेप 3, स्टेप 3 में अगर ये होता है तो यू गो इधर कस्टमर का फीडबैक लेना है, कस्टमर से रिव्यू लेना है, कस्टमर ये एक्शन, कॉल टू एक्शन. So process understanding is okay. It's far more easier. But when it comes to domain, you have to go deep. It takes time. So that's also to our competitive advantage, that we are domain focused. Our collective understanding of the domain is much higher than any other Me Too outsourcing provider. So for us, customer success is, while we understand the domain, to achieve the business outcomes, personal outcomes that they are looking for, their objectives. So let us understand this in detail. 10 key things for customer success. Anticipate. Well, we always talk about being proactive, not being reactive. Well, it's time to be predictive, where you anticipate your customer needs before they even tell you. How can you do that? It's very simple. While you interact with your customers, you may come across situations. You may ask questions that they are doing this. This is a department. This is where they are facing a staffing challenge. This is what they are doing also. In that interaction, you will be able to understand, and you'll always upsell. So if you think that only CRM can do this, answer is no. You and CRM can collectively do this, and you guys need to be on the same page, because CRM is also interacting with your client. So your manager and team needs to be on the same page for the customers. So you can always pitch and let CRM know that while talking, I came across these things and I've just told him that we can really help them in this as well. So anticipating those needs, and not just adding new services or adding new tasks for your client. Even in current tasks, that if you are able to understand that this project will have further, after completing your task, we'll have further this evaluation or further this review, you can always go back and say that, can I complete this further as well? I may be able to help you there if you can give me a little chance. So it's proactiveness is it's time to be more predictive, anticipate your customer needs before they even come and tell you, because 90% of the time customer don't tell you. And that's why we are implementing quarterly full surveys. So at least people who speak, they can write back. And when you do survey, mostly people give 4 and 5 star ratings, which we typically ignore, because that's the important of the survey is to get the right feedback from those people who are critical and take corrective actions. Advisor. So when I say advisor, we think that we always need to say yes to our clients. But that's not the approach. You are not a yes man. What you need to do is basically, which is in the right interest of customer. That does not mean you should conflict with your client. No. It is basically listen to them, listen to their perspective, and then explain them situation on your side. And you are in a role of a trusted advisor apart from just an associate. So explaining them what is to their benefit to the best of your capabilities is something that you need to do. Always saying yes is not going to be the right recipe. That does not mean you should be saying just no and clients and put it down. No. That's not the objective. That's not the way. But I just wanted to negate one thing, that saying yes to everything is not going to help. It is uh, understanding their business and how you're going to contribute to their success. Curiosity. Now you will ask how this can be one of the thing to customer success. Well, one of the thing is, I am keen on listening to stories. That's where I am able to connect with my clients, connect with the people. I want to listen to them, what their story is, because everyone has one of their life. So as long as you're curious to listen about them, you will have that connect, and you will be able to know about their business, about their personal goals, personal objectives delivered. So if you have taken a deadline, आपने बोला है कि भाई कल में ये मैं खत्म करके देने वाला हूँ या परसों देने वाला हूँ, so then you have to stand to your promise, your commitment. And in case if there is a delay, you should be proactive enough to go and reset the expectation. Tell them that this is what has happened, give them that additional insight, and kind of tell them that, because of this, there will be a couple of days delay, but I'm going to make sure that I will be getting back to you maximum by this day, maybe earlier than that. So it is very, very important. Services. Now, this is not about customer services. This is about understanding your services. So in our case, CRM first interact with client while they are onboarding. We may introduce technical managers as well going forward. So what you need to do is, you need to go ahead and understand what CRM knows about the client, what Chris has spoken about the client. So understand those expectations, those things that is expected of you. We have tried and moderated the expectations, whether it is defining, the profiles and their experiences, as well as other things CRM is doing to help you to manage the client expectation. But you need to make sure that you understand that well. Client onboarding in itself is a healthy exercise that requires a dedicated focus on side of associates and managers. So please go and talk to CRM, read through the notes of CRM as well as Chris, and senior managers. Make sure that these people have access to these things while they are onboarding client. And we have mails and content available for you to see through, that while you are onboarding a client, this is what you can send. You can tell them, well, I may not, while I'm a little scared while getting, onboarded with you, because I'm feeling that I may make a mistake. So that little curiosity in you and that little humbleness in you to communicate with transparently will go a long way in building a good relationship with your client. So when we say services, it's about what we have committed and managing the commitments and expectations at a corporate level, at a profile level. Understanding customer business. So while I was talking about curiosity, it is very, very important to understand. In our case, they work in accounting industry, so it's easy for you. But then in accounting industry, there are 10 business models. There are different kinds of services that they provide. So make sure that you understand your client's industry and everything pretty well. Consulting. Well, this is a wrong template. I forgot to write, but consulting, well, you need to advise your client what is best for them. Idea is not only to be their offshore staff, but to become their trusted associate, trusted advisor. So they feel that authenticity in you. So building that transparency right from day one and having that humbleness is very important. Taking ownership, well, this is one of the important things. Accepting the mistake whenever things have gone wrong is the first place, or acknowledging the mistake is the first place where you start remedying those mistakes, instead of wrongfully defending them, if that has happened. Success. So here we are talking about customer success. So the focal point is what success means to each customer will be different. Who is going to be your customer in the firm is different. There have to be a manager, there could be a partner, there could be a principal who is going to be your customer within the firm as well. So success for each one of them needs to be understood. For example, for an associate who is working for you, for a supervisor working onshore for you, success means he or she achieves work-life balance, or he or she need needs minimum review of their work, or he or she probably wants that this project should be finished within the deadlines, or he or she wants that so that success means different for different people. You need to understand what it is for it. So how can you do that? You can frankly go ahead and ask, well, while you have told me about your expectation, you have understood the expectation well for the role. But if we can go a little further and understand in your role, what will what we can do, which will highlight you in your firm, or which will really help you in performing well in your firm. When you say this to your supervisor onshore, he'll be more than happy, and he'll be glad that you guys are invested into this relationship. So go ahead, a step ahead, and ask that I would like to contribute in your performance, in making sure that you get highlighted in your team. So for me, I would like to understand what are your performance criteria, what are important things for you. I know my role. You have given me these things, but more than me, when we are getting here, I'd like to know what beyond that a little bit. So these things are important when you are talking to your customer and what success means to them. And as we said, it is about outcomes. Again, ignore these two. I forgot to change in the rush, but idea is to build a valuable relationship which helps in achieving your client business objectives. Sometimes, you think that happy customers, we have got so many clients who have still told that, associate was good, but I think it's not working out. And they have chosen not to go move ahead just because, it's not working out. So that does not mean, client just went away because things are okay. We need to own up to situations. Offshoring is now a regular phenomenon of global accounting firms. And thankfully, we are at the cusp of this global change which is happening in this industry. So these are some of the things that I would want to say. Our focus is going to remain in customer success. So all these new joinees, all these people who have joined in the last 5-6 months, well, you are not an accountant, you are not an auditor, you are not a tax preparer. So if you think that you are doing all these pieces, or you're not, you are here to make your customer happy and make their life better. So whatever comes under this definition, whatever umbrella, we need to do. We need to make sure that we do that. With that, I'll leave you guys. Thank you all for joining in at a short notice again. And as we have entered this tax season, I'm sure many of you would be doing it for the first time. So good luck again to all of you. Have a happy tax season, and make sure that this time we remember these 10 commandments and focus on how to help our clients and make their life better. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. With that, we will end the meeting.